Hey guys, it's Mr. Davis. In this video, we are going to just do some challenge problems. In order to be good at these problems, you should have mastered these skills. Combine like terms, distribute multiply, distribute divide, which we sometimes call factor, and x on both sides. Ready? Let's go. Alright, hit pause and try this problem. Hit play when you're ready for me to do the problem. Here we go. I'm going to distribute my times 2 to everything inside the group. So 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times 30 is 60. One step at a time. So I'll rewrite everything else as it is. Next, I'm going to distribute my times 4 to everything inside its group. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 10 is 40. Everything else is rewritten. And I'm ready for my next step. I'm going to move my 8x to be on the other side so that all of my x's can be together. The opposite of a positive 8x is a negative 8x on both sides. Goes away. 10x minus 8x is 2x. And I rewrite my problem. Well, the opposite of plus 60 is minus 60 on both sides. And I rewrite my problem. Let's see, 40 minus 60, negative 20. You're welcome to use a calculator. The opposite of times 2 is divide by 2. And I get x equals negative 10. All right, try this problem. Hit pause and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. So, all fractions have groupings on top, which means this problem on the left, this part says the group 18x plus 90 divided by 9. So I can distribute my divide, and I get 18x divided by 9, which is 2x, 90 divided by 9, which is 10. And then, of course, I can just rewrite the rest of the problem. I do one step at a time. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not worried about using up a lot of space. That's not a big deal. I'm just focused on learning. Next thing here on the right side, I'm going to distribute my divide of 3. So 3x divided by 3 is just 1x. 60 divided by 3 is 20. And I rewrite my math problem. Let's see, the opposite of 1x. Well, that's a positive 1x. So the opposite of positive 1x is minus 1x. Goes away. 2x's minus 1x leaves me with 1x plus 10 equals 20. Scroll on down. Let's see, the opposite of plus 10 is minus 10 on both sides. 1x equals 20. I don't really need that 1 there, but if you want to divide by 1 at the very end, you absolutely can. It's not going to change anything. So that's my answer. X equals 20. Okay, let's try this problem. Hit pause and then hit play when you're ready for me to check it. All right, to solve this problem, I need to combine like terms. So we're going to combine like terms, but only on one side of the equal sign. We don't cross that equal sign unless we're doing an inverse operation. So I've got positive 2x, negative 8x. That makes negative 6x. Plus 10 plus 16 equals 10x plus 66. Minus 6x. Ooh, positive 10, positive 16 is positive 26. Rewrite everything else one step at a time because it's important that I get it right. And if I do more than one step at a time, I am more likely to make a mistake. In math, we are meticulous. We pay attention to details because we care about ourselves. 10x minus 6x is 4x. We care about getting it exactly right. It matters that we get it exactly right. And so we care enough to go slow and to make sure that we're doing it perfect. Rewrite the problem. Got to move a positive 4x to the other side. The opposite of positive 4x is minus 4x. Also, do you see all the details in my work? It's really easy to follow along with what I'm doing because I'm going slow and I'm only doing one thing each time. And I'm giving a lot of little notations to give hints about what I'm combining together. That's really helpful for you, and it's really helpful for the people that you're doing the math for, like your math teacher, Mr. Davis. So show me the work. It makes a big difference. Opposite of positive 26 is negative 26 on each side. Rewrite the problem. Negative 10x equals 40. Divide both sides by negative 10. And x equals negative 4. Whew, beautiful. Look how fun. Look at all that work we just did. I did that, guys. That was cool. All right, last one of these challenge problems. Really push yourself here. Hit pause. After you're done with the problem, hit play and I'll check it with you. All right, I'm just going to kind of roll through this problem nice and slow while we chit-chat. So those kids that did these challenge problems are usually the kids that have mastered everything else. If you've made it this far, hopefully you've mastered everything else. So you're going fast, you're learning quick, you're good at math. I hope you have some confidence in yourself. Ooh, did you see what I almost did? As I got started talking, I started to do too many steps at once. Holy cow, Mr. Davis. Yikes, that was close. One step at a time, and then we rewrite the math problem. So eventually you'll get to the point where I will start to encourage you to do multiple steps at once, because it'll speed you up, and that's part of it. But you're not there until I tell you that you're there, because it's important to me that you get it right, and speeding up is what makes people get it wrong. Trust me, I've done this for a while now, and it's true. Almost every single time a mistake happens, it's a silly, stupid mistake because of rushing. So I'm just rolling through my problem nice and slow. As you watch my problem, you should have an understanding of what I'm doing. I like to spend the time to go through all of these things to simplify. This process that I'm doing is called simplifying. We always simplify our problems to the most basic level before we solve problems. The interesting thing about math is it builds on itself so much. The problem is hardest at the beginning. As we do step by step, we're making the math problem easier and easier and easier. It's interesting, but if you can just get yourself through that first step, the math is no longer that hard for you. Actually, guys, if you want a little life lesson, that's the way most things in life work. Most things in life, big projects or big dreams, they seem hardest at the very, very beginning when you're looking at the whole thing. But as you get started and you do one step at a time, and then you balance yourself out and you take a look at where you're at, I call that rewriting the problem. But you do one step and then you take a look at where you're at, you can see the progress that you've made, and the goal becomes easier and easier and easier for you to achieve. It's still really impressive, and you look back over your life and all the cool things that you've done and you go, wow, I can't believe I did all of that. But really, you are just doing one little step at a time, steps that don't seem like much and aren't that difficult. And at the end of the day, you got an amazing answer. Look at all of this awesome math. Hopefully you were able to follow along at what I did. I'm going to talk through it now. First step was I distributed my times 3 to everything inside of its group. Then I rewrote the problem. Then I distributed my times 4 into everything inside its group, and I rewrote the problem. Then I distributed the divide 2 into everything in its group, and I rewrote the problem. From there, I combined like terms, so I combined my x variables on the left side into 10x, and rewrote the problem. And then I combined my constants on the left side into 55 and rewrote the problem. At this point, it was in its most simple format, so I started to get all the x's on the same side. The opposite of a positive 8x is a negative 8x. Rewrote the problem. The opposite of a positive 55 is a negative 55, and I rewrote the problem. The opposite of a times 2 is a divide 2 on both sides, and I rewrote the problem, and I was done. X equals negative 20. Big problems are little problems glued together. If you do one step at a time, you go nice and slow, and you rewrite your problem after each step, you will avoid mistakes and be able to solve huge monster problems. This math problem, if you got it right, that is all the math that you need to be able to do in 8th grade for equations. Yeah, isn't that weird? It doesn't get any harder. I've got one or two little things to add to it that are going to make it slightly more complicated. But that sucker, that monster right there, that's hard math. And I'm really proud of you. As long as you go through it, I have every confidence that you can do this. Good job, guys.